Have you ever met someone who seemed kind and charming, only to later realize their actions told a different story? In today's world, it's easy for people to say the right things, wear a friendly smile, and appear genuine. But how do you see beyond the surface and uncover a person's true character? The secret isn't found in their words. It's hidden in two simple but revealing behaviors that most people overlook. These subtle yet powerful clues will tell you more about a person than anything they could ever say. Think about it. How does someone treat those who can't offer them anything in return? Do they keep their promises, even when it's inconvenient? These small actions speak volumes about who they really are. In this video, we'll explore these two key indicators that will forever change how you view others and even how you reflect on yourself. Once you learn them, you'll approach relationships with new clarity and confidence. So, if you're ready to see people for who they truly are, stay with us. What you're about to hear could transform the way you connect with the world. Let's begin. 1. Understanding a person's true character. The two key indicators. In a world where appearances often deceive, understanding a person's true character can be challenging. Many people present themselves as kind, friendly, and trustworthy, but their real nature is revealed in subtle, everyday behaviors. To see through the social masks, you don't need to be a psychologist. There are two key indicators that can expose a person's true essence. The first and most telling sign is how someone treats people who cannot offer them anything in return. Pay close attention to how they interact with waiters, cashiers, or strangers in need. A person who is genuinely kind and respectful will treat everyone with dignity, regardless of status. On the other hand, those who act rude, dismissive, or entitled toward those in service roles often reveal deep-seated insecurity or arrogance. Social psychology confirms that our treatment of unimportant individuals reflects our true personality, since there's no motive to impress. The second key indicator is whether someone keeps their promises. Integrity isn't just about saying the right things, it's about following through on commitments. A person who is consistently reliable, even in small matters, demonstrates trustworthiness and self-discipline. Conversely, people who frequently break promises, make excuses, or overpromise without delivering often lack reliability and respect for others. Their inconsistency damages relationships and creates a foundation of distrust. By observing these two behaviors, you can better assess who is truly sincere and who may just be putting on a facade. More importantly, this self-awareness encourages us to reflect on our own actions. Do we treat others with kindness? Do we honor our commitments? Ultimately, these small but powerful habits define who we really are and shape the relationships we build. 2. Seeing beyond the surface. Understanding character with compassion. We often come across people who seem to complain frequently, lack patience, or react in unpleasant ways. Our instinct might be to feel frustrated, distance ourselves, or even label them as negative or difficult. However, if we take a step back and look beyond their behavior, we may uncover something deeper: hidden wounds, unspoken struggles, and a lifetime of difficult experiences that have shaped the way they interact with the world. Perhaps this person grew up in an environment where love and affirmation were scarce. Maybe they were constantly criticized, neglected, or forced to fend for themselves. Over time, these experiences may have hardened them, making them more defensive, easily irritated, or hesitant to trust others. It's not that they want to be this way, it's just how they've learned to protect themselves. Their impatience might come from years of being unheard. Their complaints might be an attempt to seek acknowledgement. Their defensiveness might be a result of a lifetime of feeling misunderstood. Instead of judging or reacting negatively, try to observe with an open heart. You may notice small moments of kindness. Perhaps they hold the door for someone, share their food quietly, or show warmth when talking about a loved one. Even the toughest exteriors often hide a longing to connect, to be understood, and to be accepted. Some people simply don't know how to express their emotions in a gentle or positive way, especially if they have been carrying their burdens alone for too long. Compassion does not mean tolerating harmful behavior or allowing ourselves to be mistreated. It means understanding that people are more than their worst moments. It means choosing to see them as a whole, not just through the lens of their faults, but through the struggles they have endured. Sometimes people lash out not because they are bad, but because they are hurting. And while it is not our responsibility to heal everyone, a little bit of patience, kindness, and understanding can go a long way. A simple act of empathy, a gentle word, a patient smile, or even the decision to not respond with anger can create a ripple effect. It might not change them immediately, but it may offer them a rare moment of acceptance. It may remind them that not everyone will judge them or turn away. So next time you meet someone who seems difficult, try looking at them from a different perspective. What if, beneath their rough exterior, is a heart full of scars, still longing to connect with the world? You might just be the person who, even in a small way, reminds them that they too are worthy of love and appreciation. 3. The power of keeping promises with compassion. You've probably always believed that keeping promises is a sign of integrity. And while that's true, have you ever considered looking at it through a more compassionate lens? It's easy to feel frustrated when someone doesn't follow through. When a friend forgets a lunch plan, a family member cancels a commitment, or someone says yes but later backs out. At first glance, it might seem like carelessness, but if you take a moment to listen rather than judge, you might discover a deeper reason. Many people make promises with the best intentions, but in the moment, they don't always fully consider what it means. Maybe they said yes because they didn't want to disappoint, or they felt obligated and didn't know how to decline. Perhaps they misunderstood the commitment or were simply having a good day and thought they could take on more than they realistically could. Think about it. Haven't you also had moments where you said yes too quickly, only to later feel overwhelmed? Not because you didn't care, but because you hadn't truly thought it through. And when you couldn't follow through, you felt guilty. Now imagine how many times someone else might have been in that same situation. Instead of reacting with disappointment when someone breaks a promise, try pausing and asking why. Maybe they overcommitted without realizing it. Maybe something changed unexpectedly. And just as importantly, you can be more mindful of your own commitments, learning to say yes only when you truly mean it, rather than out of habit or pressure. As you grow, you might realize that life isn't about perfection. It's about doing your best with honesty and awareness. Mistakes happen, but it's how you handle them that defines your character. So instead of focusing only on whether someone keeps their promises, start noticing how they handle it when they can't. Do they acknowledge it? Do they take responsibility? Do they make an effort to communicate? That, more than anything, shows who they really are. Rather than expecting perfection from others, you can create an environment where honesty feels safe. When a friend hesitates before committing, let them know it's okay to take time to think. When someone cancels, ask if they're okay instead of feeling disappointed. And when you make a mistake, choose honesty over excuses. By shifting your mindset, you'll feel less frustration and more connection. Instead of holding on to resentment when things don't go as planned, you can use every interaction as an opportunity to understand others better, offer grace, and reflect on your own actions. At the end of the day, promises are not just about words. They are about intention, understanding, and effort. And just like anything else in life, they become stronger when approached with patience, empathy, and a willingness to learn from one another. 4. Understanding actions with compassion. It's natural for people to judge others based on their actions. We often assume that someone's behavior defines who they are. If they are rude, they must be an unkind person. If they break a promise, they must be unreliable. But what if we looked deeper? What if we understood that actions are just the result, not the cause? A person's behavior is shaped by their experiences, emotions, and the information they have at that moment. Maybe they reacted harshly because they were struggling with something unseen. Maybe they didn't follow through on a promise, not because they intended to deceive, but because they felt overwhelmed or misunderstood the commitment. Instead of judging immediately, we can choose to approach people with compassion, patience, and curiosity. Think about it. Haven't we all had moments where we acted out of character? Maybe we snapped at someone because we were exhausted, or we forgot an important commitment because we were overwhelmed. Imagine if, Instead of being judged for that one moment, someone offered us understanding and humor. So the next time you see someone acting in a way that seems off-putting, try shifting your perspective. Maybe they're not a bad person. Maybe they just haven't aligned with the energy you bring. Instead of shutting them out, consider offering them a small moment of grace. Rather than rejecting people for their behavior, we can embrace them with kindness, offer them a different perspective, and give them the space to grow. And in that learning process, we all need grace and room to improve. Imagine how different the world would be if, instead of reacting to others with irritation or judgment, we offered them a moment of kindness or a simple shift in perspective. Sometimes, people don't even realize how their actions affect those around them until someone gently and compassionately shows them. Think about a time when you made a mistake, and instead of being met with anger, someone responded with warmth, humor, or patience. How did that make you feel? Did it encourage you to be more mindful moving forward? That's the power of understanding over condemnation. Of course, this doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior or letting others take advantage of your kindness, but it does mean recognizing that everyone carries their own burdens, and sometimes what looks like thoughtlessness or rudeness is just a reflection of their own struggles, not their true character. So what can we do? Be the example. Show them that there's another way. Instead of shutting down, try an open-hearted approach. Instead of reacting with frustration, try a gentle joke that lightens the mood and offers perspective. Instead of assuming the worst, ask yourself, what if they just need a little more understanding today? When we choose to respond with kindness instead of judgment, we create space for real connection, deeper understanding, and positive change. And who knows? The next time you find yourself in a difficult moment, someone just might offer you the same grace in return. Number 5, self-reflection is just as important. It's easy to focus on how others behave, but have you ever paused to consider how you treat yourself? The way you interact with the world is often a reflection of how you engage with yourself. If you're overly critical of your own mistakes, you may find it difficult to be patient with others. If you frequently break promises to yourself, whether it's skipping a morning walk, neglecting a personal goal, or avoiding an important conversation, how can you expect consistency from those around you? Self-reflection is a powerful tool. When you take time to assess how you treat yourself, you gain insight into why you react to others the way you do. If you often feel drained, overwhelmed, or unworthy, you may unconsciously project those emotions onto others. On the other hand, when you practice kindness, patience, and accountability with yourself, extending that same grace to others becomes second nature. Think about how you talk to yourself. Are you encouraging and understanding, or do you criticize yourself in a way you'd never speak to a friend? The more you cultivate self-compassion, the more you'll develop the ability to be tolerant and forgiving toward others. If you set healthy boundaries for yourself, you'll recognize and appreciate when others do the same. If you learn to laugh at your own small mistakes, you'll be less likely to hold grudges when someone else missteps. Instead of focusing solely on whether others meet your expectations, shift your energy towards strengthening your own foundation, showing up for yourself, keeping your own commitments, and treating yourself with respect. When you lead with self-awareness and self-respect, you naturally attract relationships that reflect that same energy. So before rushing to judge someone's character, take a moment to ask yourself, am I treating myself with the same kindness, patience, and respect that I hope to receive from others? The way you show up for yourself is the energy you bring to the world. By embracing self-compassion, you foster deeper, more meaningful relationships and become the kind of person you also wish to have in your life. 6. Final takeaway. Actions speak louder than words. At the end of the day, actions reveal more about a person's character than words ever could. It's easy to say the right things, make promises, or present a polished image, but true character is demonstrated in the small, everyday moments, how someone treats a stranger, responds to challenges, or follows through on commitments. By paying attention to these details, we gain a deeper understanding of who people truly are, beyond just their words. But here's the beauty of it. People are not fixed. They can grow, change, and become better versions of themselves. Maybe someone who struggles to keep their promises simply lacks confidence in their ability to follow through. Maybe the person who seems distant or dismissive has been hurt before and is afraid to trust. Instead of rushing to judgment, what if we held space for them to improve? What if we believed in their potential, even when they couldn't see it for themselves? Observing how people act doesn't mean labeling them forever. It means understanding where they are now, while also recognizing who they can become. We've all had moments of failure, times when we didn't live up to our own standards. Wouldn't it be powerful if, instead of expecting perfection, we chose to believe in someone's capacity for growth? At the same time, self-reflection is key. Do we extend the same grace to ourselves that we give to others? Do we allow ourselves to grow, to become kinder, more reliable, and more present for those we love? The way we treat others is often a reflection of how we see ourselves, and by choosing to believe in the goodness of people, we invite that same transformation within. So the next time you meet someone new or evaluate an existing relationship, watch what they do, not just what they say, but also hold space for who they can become. People rise to the level of belief we have in them. When we expect goodness, we often help create it. Every day is a chance for someone to be better than they were yesterday, including you and me. As we navigate life beyond 60, we begin to understand that true character is not revealed through grand words, but through small, consistent actions. Two defining aspects stand out: how a person treats those who can do nothing for them, and whether they keep their promises. Think about the moments when someone offered you kindness without expecting anything in return. Maybe it was a stranger holding the door open, a friend who listened without judgment, or a loved one who honored their word even when it was inconvenient. These small gestures create the foundation of trust and respect in relationships. They remind us that integrity isn't built in a single moment, but in the quiet, everyday choices we make. At this stage in life, we also have the opportunity to reflect on our own character. Do we uphold kindness, even when no one is watching? Do we follow through on our commitments, both to ourselves and to others? Because in the end, it's not just about how we judge others, it's about how we choose to show up in the world. The way we live each day is the truest reflection of who we are. In the end, true character isn't about words, it's about actions. The way someone treats those who can't offer them anything in return and how they uphold their promises reveals more about their integrity than anything they say. These small yet powerful signals help us make wiser choices in relationships, surround ourselves with genuine people, and even reflect on our own values. As we journey through life, especially after 60, we have the chance to deepen our understanding of those around us, not just by listening to their words, but by observing their actions. And just as importantly, we can strive to be the kind of person who treats others with kindness and keeps our word, not because we have to, but because that's who we choose to be. So the next time you interact with someone, take a moment to notice these subtle clues. You might discover a deeper truth about them, and perhaps even about yourself. Because at the heart of it all, our character is not defined by what we say, but by the choices we make every day. If you found this message valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, the strongest bonds are built on trust, respect, and consistency. See you in the next video.